43,384,860 units in less than an hour in No Man's Sky expeditions with a super easy method. Make millions in less than an hour. Here's how we do it. Hello, players of No Man's Sky. One of the hardest things to do in this game, whether or not you are new or old, is to figure out a good way to make a steady stream of income. Now, in the Expeditions update, there are 2 missions that you need to complete that are related to making units, and this method will actually get both of those milestones completed for you in one go. Basically, all you need to do this method is either a planetary base or a freighter, 3 medium refiners, which you can get the recipe for a medium refiner from the Space Anomaly, as well as a good supply of oxygen and chlorine. Alright, let's get right into it. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is find some buried technology modules if you have not already unlocked the blueprint for the medium refiner. If you haven't, and you haven't really moved through the tech tree for that stuff at all yet, you're going to need about 25 buried technology modules in order to purchase the blueprint from the Space Anomaly. So the whole idea behind this method, and the reason why you need the medium refiner, is in a medium refiner, for every 2 oxygen and 1 chlorine, you will get 6 chlorine. And chlorine is worth 602 units apiece, so for about 15 minutes or less of your time, you can easily make 6 million units just by refining chlorine in a medium refiner. Now that you've acquired enough buried technology modules to actually research the blueprint for the medium refiner, we need to go ahead and summon the Space Anomaly and research the blueprint for the medium refiner. Now, another thing with the medium refiner, for each medium refiner, you are going to need 100 magnetized ferrite and 5 dihydrogen jelly. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come to the back of the Space Anomaly, where you can spend your buried technology modules that you've found on planets, and go to the technology modules portion of the research terminal. And you want to grab a medium refiner from this. If I remember correctly, this is probably somewhere near 23 or 25 total salvaged data. So this is the first thing you're going to want to get a medium refiner with your buried technology modules that you have found. So now that you've gotten the blueprint for your medium refiner, what I would recommend doing is going to the space station and buying all of the oxygen you can, not only from the Galactic Trade Terminal, but also pilots that land there. Now, if you want to, if you don't have it already, you can also purchase some chlorine, but eventually you'll get to a point where the only thing you're going to need to buy is oxygen. If you do buy both, remember that 2-to-1 ratio from earlier, where for every 1 chlorine you have, you will need 2 oxygen. So go ahead and go to the space station and buy as much oxygen as you can, and if you need it, you can also buy some chlorine to maybe jumpstart the method just a little bit. So now that you've gone ahead and you've gotten your oxygen and you've gotten your chlorine, what you're going to want to do is separate them into equal amounts for the amount of refiners that you have, just to make this whole process run a lot more quickly and a lot more easily. So with about a stack of oxygen, in about 45 minutes to an hour, you will be able to make 42 million units, so as long as you evenly distribute it among the refiners and make sure that they're all running as much as they can. Now that you've gotten all of your oxygen and chlorine put inside your medium refiners, go ahead and start them. Now, if you'll notice, there is a 4-minute and 5-second timer. It takes that long to process it, and the medium refiner's capacity is 4,095. So while this is pretty much completely passive, you are going to want to come back about every 4 to 5 minutes to replenish the supply, or actually take out the chlorine that's preventing it from making any more. So really what I usually do is I will just stay in my freighter or stay near the refiners while they refine the chlorine until the task is done. Now, like I said, this is passive, so if you really wanted to, you could set up 3 refiners on a planetary base and just continue to fly back and forth and probably spend your time doing that, or just doing other things like exploring or completing quests in expeditions. So for less than an hour of what was basically passive work, I have over 7 stacks of chlorine now, and that is over 42 million units. So for less than an hour's worth of what is semi-passive work, you can make 42 million units just by refining chlorine in a medium refiner. Whenever you go to sell your chlorine, make sure you sell it to a pilot at a space station or a trading post. This way, whenever you sell the massive amount of chlorine that you've acquired with this method, you don't flood the market with all the chlorine and crash the price. Now, going on what we were talking about earlier with you'll eventually get to a point where you don't need to buy chlorine anymore, this is that point. Whenever you go to sell your chlorine, do not sell all of it. Leave yourself at the very least 1,667 chlorine. This way you'll have enough to at least make yourself another stack. So whenever you go to sell your chlorine, don't sell all of it, save some for yourself, so the only thing you need to continue to buy is oxygen. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope all you guys found it helpful. If you have any questions or any suggestions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. Happy exploring and enjoy the Expeditions update. Stay tuned for more No Man's Sky tutorials as well as other games.